Matt on me, thank you very much
Nice
for joining
to meet
us.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
If you could give us a short praise of what the film's about and how you came to make this film, what was behind it?
Okay, I'll answer the second question first.
Yeah.
I thought of it a really long time ago as it was based on true events.
Mm-hmm.
And so my parents had this mattress. And then in college, I had a college roommate and she needed a mattress. And I was like, my parents have one in storage. So she ended up taking it. Then she moved to LA, she had it. Then it went in storage again. Then some other friend needed it. So then he took it. And then it just had been traveling. So
With all these different people using it. Yeah.
So then I just added different experiences of other things that had to do with being in bed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the story kind of evolved.
And so you got this great idea, and then so you literally sit down and one day, or not a day, but a month or however long it took to put this together.
It took like 20 minutes to write it. Like I just wrote. There's no dialogue.
No.
So it's the mattress is the protagonist. It's my lead character.
Yeah.
So there's no dialogue. So like putting it, like I wrote it, and then it was like you have to put it in final draft, and I said, but why? Just like interior, and then this is what's happening, but no one's speaking. So I did it because everyone said put it in final draft.
Although I have seen excerpts, by the way.
Yeah. So then I just added some other scenes of different things that I knew that had happened with, in bed. And that's kind of how it came to be.
Yeah, because it's not necessarily the obvious things that everyone thinks about, but I think it was just the journey of this whole,
Right, and it's kind of, initially, obviously, when everything changes once you start shooting. It's like you have this idea and you think it's going to be a certain way, and then your end product is either exactly what you wanted or nothing what you wanted. I got pretty much what I wanted, but the journey to get there was pretty difficult.
Well, it's interesting because the last filmmaker that I interviewed said he took out the whole audio track and the music track because it just wasn't working, so it became a silent film in the end. And I said, God, that is like, you're halfway through this. She said, yeah, and it just wasn't working. So I did anything. I'm not saying you.
It was like that. The edit wasn't working. We lost a couple of scenes, and as I mentioned, it's funny because I went through 3 different editors that just weren't getting it, and then an editor that's a writer-director finally cracked it, and it's like I knew what I wanted, but I was having a hard time expressing it because, again, it's not like a traditional type story.
No.
And having your protagonist be an inanimate object and there's no dialogue made it difficult, and then I didn't want to do a voiceover. So in the end, because it wasn't working, we did decide to just do subtitles, but very simple. So that's kind of what made it work. And then there's some things that she did that were these cool quick edits of the whole story.
This is the final editor you're working with?
Yes,
okay.
That she saved my film. So, and she introduced me to my DP, Vanessa.
Yeah, and how did that happen? You sort of given the game away, but so you don't necessarily. Sorry, I should have asked you earlier. How many films have you made before this one? Where are you in your career?
This is my first film,
right?
But I've been producing for about 20 years. Oh, 15. I started as a production assistant, worked my way up, and somehow I just ended up in the producing side of it, which was frustrating because I've always been a writer and I've always been super creative. But with producing music videos and commercials, you're more of a creative producer, so I'm in charge of a lot, like casting, all the things that the director would do. And a lot of, especially with music videos, my directors don't want to write, they just want to tell me the idea, and then I have to sort it out for them and do all the legwork. So.
I often think producers got the toughest job. I know the DP sitting behind the camera over there, but because you're spinning all the plates, that's the thing. It must be. Simple things like you've got to make sure the food is there. You've got to make sure the crew and the casting get them out of bed. I assume.
I think with TV, that's what essentially happens too. Is the showrunner starts out being like the lead creator or writer or whatever, and then they end up producing. So it's like, for me, it's like backwards. So like I was producing first, and then ending up directing, basically. But the writing, I was confident about the story, and a little insecure about the directing part of it. And I had directors like, come and show up on set to be supportive. They're like, "Why are you nervous? You're on set all the time. You're the one doing the shot list for us all the time."
Because it's the first time you've done it.
Yeah, I think it's when it's your own. And then I was producing it as well, so it's like hard to switch gears of, like money things and like people in my ear, and I'm just like, everyone just needs to leave me alone right now because I have to focus on the creative. And it was a big part of all the creative stuff. My sister was lead props, so it's like we went shopping together, and she knew it was good because she knew exactly my taste and what I wanted for all the bedding that had to be specific to each different scene. So like that part was fun too, for sure.
So is it fair to say you've got all this experience behind you as a producer, but when you're actually behind the camera for the first time, I'm not going to say this is real because it's been real, you've been involved in it, but I guess what I'm getting at is it changed the way you see filmmaking? Because it's not a whole new thing, you've been involved in it, but actually directing
I think I'm still kind of, obviously I want to do more, and then just see how I feel about it. Like I know for sure writing is going to continue. I think I need to direct a couple more things and see if I'm feeling more confident or comfortable.
Yeah.
So, but I would be happy just like writing and being like a showrunner or something like that, or doing. And I don't know if I would want to do a feature-length film. I've produced them, and it's the worst job on the planet.
Is it really?
Produce, yeah, it's like the worst.
Well, because of the stress levels?
No, it's just not creative at all. So it's like you're just in charge of money and like, oh, we have to take this thing back today because we're not using it.
Oh, so there's no creative process you're involved in?
Not
you're the bean
filmmaking.
counter, I guess.
No. Unless you're friends with the director and you have this fake title like creative producer, it sucks. So, and I think with a feature, all the ones I've worked on, it's just like, oh my God, like we have to just be here for so many days. And I'm so used to doing things that are like short format, or like even on a show, it's like then you're done with an episode and you go to the next thing. So with a feature, it's just like you're shooting the same things, and it's like you gotta have your wide and your medium, your close up, and then like over the shoulder, and then doing the same lines over and over again. And I thought it would be easier for my first film to not have dialogue, and that was not the case.
It was actually, trickier?
Well, yeah.
Or not how you envisioned it,
especially, it's like my lead character, it's not only not dialogue, but my lead character is an inanimate object, so it doesn't really have a voice. So I had to really think about how to shoot the perspective of the mattress. So what we ended up doing was we got plexiglass, and we put a sheer material over it. We put it on apple boxes. Vanessa got underneath it. We made sure it was super secure, and we shot from underneath. So we have all these beautiful shots of, these silhouettes of people doing their thing, and then cut to like on the top, so it makes sense. It is very music driven, so that's what gives it the emotion.
And how did you choose what you? It's a crazy thing to ask. Is what everyone associates with mattresses, sleeping, and sex, and all the usual stuff. But of course, how did you sort of think? Well, I want to concentrate a bit more on this and that. I mean, that must have been a difficult process because you don't want to concentrate too much on one particular thing.
Well, there were so many different stories that had actually happened that were so different, and then I just needed to add a couple of other things. So I just added kind of experiences that I knew that other people had had, so they were true. So I felt confident about telling those stories. So it touches on like a family, and then they sell the mattress at a garage sale to these college girls, and then she gives it to her friend, and the boyfriend's cheating, and then it ends up in storage, and then a heroin addict breaks into the storage locker and he takes it, and then I'm not going to give too much away.
No, please don't. Please don't.
So, but it's basically the cycle of life of how everything keeps getting recycled, and like nothing ever actually dies. Like the energy and the stories are still there.
Any sleepless nights?
Yes.
A lot, or just a few? Night before, most terrifying?
No. Actually, the night before I was
the very
fine.
first day you're shooting on.
It was the second day, just because it was so difficult, and Vanessa and I had done the shot list, and then I was like changing shots. She's like, this isn't what we discussed. And I'm like, no, I'm not adding shots. I'm not changing. I'm combining them because we're running out of time. And then that first day when I got home, I had to like rethink things because some of the things just weren't working.
Yeah.
Because it's something again that's just not very common to shoot. So it's like I had no rules or playbook to even like go to be like, okay, so well, how do I do this?
And so it sort of hit you after you start shooting rather than actually the night.
I just feel like the whole time I wasn't in the moment. Like it was just like so crazy, and it's actually even more bizarre that it just hit me about 3 weeks ago that I made a film, that it's finished, and that I'm getting into festivals.
Really? So it took that long?
Took that long.
And how? I know you said you.
It was like an epiphany.
So I know you said features aren't really your thing necessarily.
It's like I've written feature-length scripts, but every time now that I do one, I'm like, how can I make this a TV show?
So you're always looking at honing it, or a series, I guess.
Or I guess just I feel like a lot of scripts also because I'm never happy with my endings, and if you do a series, then you have a group of writers that can kind of help you with that. I think endings are hard. So yeah, I mean, they're feature-length scripts for sure, but I'm just not sure that maybe I'll try it.
And what is next?
I've been discussing doing this. Had a Kickstarter, and I hated that process. It was the worst.
Well, Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's just begging for money. I'd rather be on a street corner playing guitar and like begging for money than doing that.
Yeah.
So
and it's a full-time thing apparently. I mean, you're permanently watching
it. It is, and I'm trying to find someone that will just handle that part of it, but it kind of doesn't work like that. So, and we did the budget already, and it's twice as much as this one was. So maybe because this one's had some success, people will be more apt to donate more. So we'll see. Yeah, I have another short film in mind, and like I said, 2 feature-length scripts finished that I want to turn into a TV show, and then an animation series.
Oh, right, wow. Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.